Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Watchful Stoic. It's a beautiful, overcast day here in Texas. Nice, wonderful mixture between the gray and the blue in the sky with these clouds. I love it. You know, the sun's not too bright. It's everything's illuminated, but it's dimmed a little bit because with the clouds, and it's really, really nice outside. I always love it when there's like a little bit of a warm breeze too. You know, it's great. Before I jump into my topic for today, like, share, comment, subscribe. It's going to be a little bit. It might be a little bit more of a more political discussion. I'm not going to try to dig too deep into politics. I'm not going to advocate for any specific perspective, but I think I might come across as having a preference towards certain policies. I guess one of the things. I guess the topic for today is let's see. Well, how do I phrase this? It is to face evil wherever you can find it, or wherever it. I don't know if you should necessarily chase evil, or if you should just deal with it as you encounter it. I haven't really put a whole bunch of thought into that concept of whether or not you should pursue evil to eradicate it, or whether you should defeat it as it springs up. My gut is currently saying you should chase evil down and eradicate it wherever it exists. But at the same time, the other side of me says people have their agency. People should choose whether or not they want to be a virtuous person or not. But I was listening to different people talk about gun rights today. I was still listening to people talk about basically the trans movement when it comes to kids, and I'm not going to advocate any specific direction. Like, people that know me personally know what I think about it. But in my opinion, this is my opinion here, children are innocent, and we should leave them alone. Let them grow, and whatever they decide as they get older, that's that's their choice at that point. So, that one event with the one drag event that a whole bunch of children were invited to, where they were encouraged to participate. I thought that was not well thought out, in my opinion. Or if it was well thought out, then I think that's a very, very evil thing to do. Because, I'm quoting Bill Maher here, because this is something that he was saying, is that either trans kids are being created or they're being suppressed, and neither one is good, but one seems more likely than the other. I might get in trouble for posting this video, but whatever happens. I don't understand the obsession that some people have with bringing kids into the LGBT community. If if the children develop those feelings and those desires later in their life, then sure, that's fine. There's no issue with that. There's no problem with that. People get to choose. Once people have the capacity to really understand the weight of their choices, that's when they can really. That's when they should be able to make those decisions. But we have effectively a society that is experimenting on kids, and it's not good. And it's causing a lot of unhappiness. It's causing a lot of pain. And that's why you see a lot of traditional people, traditional conservatives, really just fighting tooth and nail against different policies that encourage that kind of behavior. I am definitely in agreement with the policies in Florida. That policy being, we shouldn't be talking to kids about sex and about sexual identity. It's not appropriate for them at that stage, especially not from an educator. That should be something that's discussed with their family and their parents. And if they don't have parents, then a trusted guardian or adult, but not an educator. Especially not an educator that's very partial to these that aren't heteronormative. Because there's a reason why heteronormativity is what it is. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being LGBT. That's not what I'm saying at all. Again, I'm not against the LGBT community, but I'm also not necessarily for it either. I think there's a lot of people trying to move the LGBT community in a direction that is not good for society. I think there's a lot of really bad actors out there, and it's really disheartening to see, and because people are trying to hijack the movement for evil purposes. And I think people need to start waking up and looking at themselves, looking at the people around them, and really observing whether or not what they're doing is right. Part of Stoicism is trying to ensure happiness and equality, but there comes a point in time where we also need to start calling out, the standing evils of this world. Again, I'm not saying LGBT community is evil. I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are a lot of evil people in both that are both straight and not straight. Like, there's evil people everywhere. But this, right now, what I can see is that this movement is being hijacked and being used by evil people for evil purposes. And part of that involves the sterilization of kids. And it is not a good thing. Because these different procedures that these children go through, they're irreversible. It's permanent. What if these kids want to have their own children later in life, and they can't because of something that was imposed upon them by either their parents, their school, by doctors? It's not right. I don't. There's a thought I had that I shouldn't attribute malice to where there is none, or where there might not be any. but I can't see a good reason for, for example, puberty blocker, hormone blockers, things that block puberty from occurring. I don't see a good reason for that. I can't see a good reason for that. And I guess in the case of guns, let's switch gears here. In the case of guns, I have 2 guns myself, and they're great. I love my firearms. One's a Springfield Armory Hellcat, and the other one's a AK-47 with it's a U.S. made version of it. And they're nice guns. I like them. I highly recommend that people become educated about guns and weaponry and firearms and things of that nature, because there's a lot of misinformation going around when it comes to firearms, and I see a very concerted effort to try to disarm the American people. And the Second Amendment was put in place to for the American people to defend themselves against tyranny of the government. But here's the thing: the government is becoming tyrannical. So, what is the appropriate way forward? Like, how do we exercise the Second Amendment in such a fashion that is moral? Because I don't think taking another person's life without a just cause is moral. We can certainly fight against these politicians in some ways, but when it comes down to wielding the Second Amendment against the government, if the American people did that, I believe there would be a bloodbath. I believe it would not be a good situation. Sorry, this is my first video of something a little bit more negative. Maybe not necessarily negative, but a little bit more serious and critical. Not critical. I think that's not the right word. But something a little bit more serious. But I like my gun rights. I like being able to have my weapons. I like being able to go out and shoot my guns every now and then, and just really enjoy my guns. It's fantastic. But the whole shooting here in Texas at the school, there was a huge number of failures on behalf of the law enforcement, as well as some other federal entities, because they knew about this kid for a good while, and there were several hours that they had opportunities to go and stop him, and they didn't. And then when it came down to whether or not they would allow the parents through to go try to stop this kid on their own, they wouldn't let the parents through. They stopped the parents from going into the school, but they wouldn't go in themselves. One guy that saw this kid initially, he called his wife to bring him his gun. So he had his gun, and he was outside the school. He was wanting to go in and find the kid and stop him from doing anything, and the police blocked him from going in, which is ridiculous. I don't understand why they would do that. Because, I mean, it was such a tragedy. A tragedy that really could have been prevented had we had useful law enforcement at that point. But we need to reform in our system. We need to reform on our in our local systems as well as on the federal level. We need better politicians. We need better police. We need better everything. Like, everything needs to improve, but people are too set on fighting each other over stupid things. I could probably make a different video about what people are fighting over. It's like, honestly, the biggest thing that people fight over is identity politics, which I'll save that for a different video. But in any case, sorry this was a little bit. This might be a little bit more of a downer video. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about these different topics. I mean, don't I'm just trying to share my opinion here. I don't have any ill will. I don't have any malice or negative feelings towards the LGBT community. I hope, honestly, I know several people that belong to that community, and they're good people. And I wish them well. I just don't like the way the movement's going. In any case, I'll leave it there. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Love you all. Stay safe out there. All right? Talk to you later.